I watched this pick a card today, and it was talking about how my twin flame is really kind of scared about this life because he'll be up against everybody, his family, his friends. Everyone would turn on him, and they're a very religious group, and they believe what they believe, and I believe something different, and I was upset about it all day, that he was embarrassed or ashamed that I had this, I don't know, like psychic gifts and this different lifestyle, and I throw tarot cards, and I do things that a lot of people probably don't understand, and especially his friends and family, and I was mad at him all day. I was mad that he was choosing them over me. Then I was watching this movie, and a woman and her mom were like hugging and crying, and it reminded me of my mom and how I don't have a mom anymore. And I thought to myself, why would I want to make a man choose this life? I wouldn't have chosen this life for myself. "11 years ago, I had an out-of-body experience, and I didn't know that you could have those. I was just learning how to meditate. No one in my family knew how to meditate. None of us knew what meditation was. I was actually told it was the doorway to devils, so my church told me not to do it. And I did it anyway. And I did it so that I could get off of my anti-anxiety medication. I thought it could calm me down. I thought meditation would calm me down, so I started meditating, and about 2 or 3 times into it, I had a spontaneous out-of-body experience that lasted about maybe 30 seconds. And when I came back to my body, everything had changed. Everyone was different. I started speaking different. I started talking about things that people didn't understand, and I didn't understand. I lost friends. I lost hundreds of friends, jobs, everything, addictions, vices, comfort zones, homes, pets, everything. A savings account. I lost it all. I lost everything because I was so depressed at what I had to give up. And I guess when I saw this woman and her mom hugging, I thought, I'll never see my mom again. You can't go back, You can't go back because you don't have anything in common with them anymore, and it's only going to hurt both of you, so you can't go back. And I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, let alone the man that I love more than life itself, so I can't be mad, I can't be mad that he wants to choose his family over me, and his comfort zone. At least he has one. And I can't be mad that he cares about what his friends think. I may not have friends anymore, and I don't care what people think, but that's because I've been at this 11 years, and he hasn't, and this is why I told myself I would just be single forever, and I was okay with that, In fact, I was hung up on the past my false twin flame who would never commit because that was comfortable, and I knew he would never commit, and that was exactly the way I wanted it. I didn't want to care about anybody. I didn't want to meet my real twin. I didn't know what was happening. I was not sure that I would ever meet anybody ever, and so it happened, and now I can't blame him. I mean, I talk about some really crazy things. I am pretty loud and proud about what I do and who I work for. I work for God, and I boldly claim it out loud to everyone who will listen. I can't ask somebody to just drop their normal lifestyle to be with me. What does being with me even consist of anyway? I've just been in a 700 square foot box for 2 years in the woods, living by myself, cooking for one person. I don't even have a pet. I just meditate all day, do spiritual work for people. And I just basically try to live a life as close to God as possible. But what really is the hardest part is your vibration raises a lot when you don't have anybody else in your life. And you don't have a lot of addictions anymore. Your vibration raises. But then when you get really high up, you start to feel things. Sadness, depression, because you can feel the collective pain. You can feel everybody's fear. You feel everybody's sadness. And I can feel his pain and his sadness, and it's like I want to take it away, but how do you take away somebody's pain that you don't get to be with? You know, they can't let it go. They don't want to come to the light. And I can't blame them for not wanting to come to the light. The light is a scary place to be. It's so scary that I don't even want to be in it. I don't like the unknown. I don't like this feeling of not knowing where I'm going to be tomorrow, or what I'm going to eat for breakfast, if I can even eat, and who will pay my bills tomorrow. And I don't like this feeling. But I can't blame him for not choosing me. Actually, I forgive him. I'm in this period of forgiving this last couple days. Forgiving him for choosing a karmic over me too, in several past lives and this one. And then, you know, choosing his family. Like, duh. I mean, it's his family. It's who you were raised with, you know. I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, I left my husband and an entire family behind. I know how hard it is. It is hard to ask that of someone else. I don't want to ask that of him, so I'm getting to this point where I'm just begging God that instead I can just stop caring about him. That I can just, like, forget. That maybe the pain will just, like, go away. And then I meet new people, and new people come and go, and it's just not the same. So, but what's the point anyway? What's the point of meeting somebody new? I don't want to do this to them either. make them leave everything. For what? For talking out loud about things that this world isn't ready to hear? 20 years ahead of its time, like talking about New Earth and new ways of doing things, new healing modalities, energy healing. Like what it's not fair. I felt like my life was taken from me. I don't want to take somebody's life. I didn't have a choice. And then I had my my near-death experience in 2019. That was worse because I didn't know what I was signing up for. But I made a plea with God that if I got to come back to my body, I would work for the collective right now. That I would give up everything and do this mission work. And I had no choice. It was that or live in purgatory. It was hell, literally. Literally, it was hell. And I begged and pleaded to come back, and I got to come back. But then, that's just my story. That doesn't mean it's his. It's not fair to require that of someone else. So it's like, I'm not even upset. I can't be that he's not choosing me. Giving up everyone because I know what would happen. He knows what would happen. Us being together would cause shockwaves, and we've discussed this before. We know it would be so intense that everyone we know would be against it. And I don't know, I guess you just get to a point where you just kind of say it's fine. I don't want to cause anybody pain. Maybe just being alone for the rest of my life is really less painful. I spent the last 3 years honing my craft, working on my psychic gifts, learning about channeling, learning to channel, helping spirit cross over. I've been doing mediumship. I've been working really, really hard on getting my psychic gifts ready to be utilized full time, like out there for the whole world to see. And it's not really fair to ask anybody ever to be associated with me. I don't blame him for being a little embarrassed. I talk about really crazy stuff. There's no, reason he should feel bad about it. I'm sure he feels ashamed sometimes that he feels this way, but it's not his fault. I talk about crazy stuff. Aliens, abductions, psychic warfare, sex magic. I talk about wild shit, and I've never seen a man okay with it before. He was actually the first to ever really be accepting of me. He was just like so open and warm, and he really listened, when I would tell him about all the things that have happened spiritually to me. He was just so understanding and attentive, and he would ask so many questions, and he cared, and he remembered all of it. He just blew me away, and the best part was when we were in no contact, how much healing work he did. He started practicing Reiki, learning about angelic healing. started healing himself, finding other spiritually minded friends, but there's also a limit. Like, you can do all that and still have a family and friends, still have a life, you know? Giving up everything to what? Openly, out loud, talk about stuff to the whole world where they can judge you for it, you know? And there are forces that don't really like what I'm talking about, and I wouldn't ask anybody to do that, you know? I'm just kind of learning that sometimes love just lets go, and maybe I should just let him go, you know? Maybe I should just let go of the idea of being with anybody at all. Because I don't think it's fair to ask anybody to give something up. I hated God for the longest time because I thought God forced me into this life. It felt so forced on me. I mean, I got dox threats, death threats. In 11 years, the amount of attacks that I've faced is just, it's wild. It's crazy how many people wanted me dead. And I'm like, that's just humans, let alone otherworldly beings that are targeting me. And it's like, I don't want to put that on anybody, you know? I think people think I'm just over dramatic and making this shit up as I go, but this stuff has happened to me. It is very much real, and everything I've ever talked about is 1000% true. It scares me that people don't agree, because it's like, how can you think that this world is simply run by, what, billionaires? Who gave them their resources, who gave them their means, who pulls the strings, really? It's scary, and I talk about scary stuff, and I can't ask him to give everything up for me. I love him way too much for that, you know? And I've never really loved anybody before. And I think I love him enough not to be with him, you know? Just kind of have it at night. Just a very emotional night. Anyway, just wanted to say this and maybe feel better. I don't feel better. I thought I would. I thought saying this out loud would, I don't know, make me feel like a better person too, and I don't feel better. I thought I would like that I'm doing this, giving him permission to choose, and being okay that he's choosing a karmic and choosing his family, choosing his old life. But it doesn't make me happy, because I don't get him, but I guess it makes me happy because I know that that's what love would do. Love would give somebody free will. God gives us free will. I want to give him free will, you know? So, I'm just going to let him go. And I'm just going to be grateful that I ever met him. And that he even exists. I'm just going to be grateful that I had a chance to meet somebody so beautiful, and I'm just going to move on. I'm just going to be okay with being okay on my own. It's not fair to do this to somebody. Anyway, that's my story in a nutshell. So, anyway, thank you for listening. Bye.